name is Anna, and I'm gonna be your tour guide and bus driver today. This tour is going to last about 35 to 40 minutes, and you're going to learn about how we have been leading the way to save species from extinction, and also how we have been innovating in our wildlife conservancy. Also, you're going to learn more about how you can build the Hero for Wildlife. We have several activities going on around the school today and during this week. So they asked us to lower our voice when we are going by some concert or any other activities. Now let's continue with the tour. Before we continue, let me ask you to keep your arms, legs, personal belongings, and no one's inside the bus at all times. Also, if you choose to stand, please keep your feet on the floor and hold on to the railing or the back of the seat. If you look up, those baskets that are going over us at the sky party, they take you from one side of the party to another. Say hi to our acrobats. And it's a quick 5-minute ride from one side of the school to the other. And continuing with the Suba itself, let me tell you that besides being a safe haven for animals, we are also a safe haven for plants. We are the most visited botanical garden in the U.S. We have thousands of different plant species, and we take care of them for conservation, but also we grow some to feed our animals. If you look around, you're gonna see these tall bamboo plants. We harvest those daily for our pandas. Some of the plants that we grow here, we also harvest them to use in some of our restaurants as well. Now let's take a peek to our Malayan tigers. The Malayan tigers are the smallest of tigers. And here at Los Amigos, we are really proud of the way we have been designing our exhibit. We have come to realize that animals thrive when they live in places that look just like home. Sometimes the tigers are hanging out close to the window on the left, so I'm going to move slowly to see if we can take a pic of them. If not, take a look at how we have developed the exhibit. We have different layers, different levels of areas where our tigers can spend their time. Also, they have a pool where they can swim and sometimes hunt, because tigers love water. They are aquatic cats. Now we're leaving the Lost Forest and we're coming into the Ituri Forest. The Ituri Forest is where our river hippos live. They come from Central Africa. Today in exhibit we have Punani and her calf ponies. This tank is about 150,000 gallons of water, because hippos don't have wetlands and they love to stay in the water most of their day to keep themselves cool. Anyone is wearing sunblock today? Because hippos produce their own sunscreen. They have very sensitive skins and they produce this substance that builds like a layer on top of the skin that reflects the rays of the sun, preventing them from sunburn. If you look beyond the hippo exhibit, you're going to see an animal with stripes on the hind feet. That's the okapi. The okapi is also from Central Africa, and they are browsers. Look how tall the leaves in the trees are. That's because they reach out for the leaves with their long tongue. Can anyone guess who is the closest relative? The giraffe, right? Some people think it's a zebra because of the stripes, but actually it's are the giraffe. They share something in common, and it's a long tongue to reach out for leaves to eat. you look to your right, you're going to see our river island where sun monkeys, red-tailed monkeys, and spotneck otters share their activities. For us, it's really important to have mixed activities here at the zoo. They provide the interaction that these animals will experience in the wild. And social interaction is really important for animals to develop their natural instincts and their wild instincts. And that's something that is really important for us here at the San Diego Zoo. Now if you look at your map, you're going to see a yellow kangaroo icon. That yellow kangaroo icon stands for the kangaroo bus stop. The kangaroo bus is a transportation service. It's a very similar bus to this one. The only difference is that they have a yellow sign in the front. And you can get into the kangaroo bus using the same ticket you used to get into this one. The only difference is that they stop and you can hop in and hop off in 4 different stops. This is bus stop number 2. And along the way I'm going to show you where the other bus stops are located. Now when we go up the hill, look at that road next to us on the left. That's road 163. In the 1930s, our veterinarian, Dr. Schroeder, decided that we needed to build a place where we could bring endangered species. And we built the safari park. If you take this road, 163, all the way up to Escondido, it's about 30-minute drive. You can visit our safari park. It's a registered park, it's 20 times bigger than this park. And the exhibits are larger than here because they have millions of animals roaming free in those exhibits. Also, in there they have their home to our Institute for Conservancy Research, where our frozen zoo is, where we take care of the genetic materials of many endangered species. If you look to the right, you might see our giant eland. The giant eland is the largest antelope. They can measure up to 5 feet all the way up to their shoulders. Also, they can jump off from where they are standing position. On the left is our polar bear plant where we have our Arctic animals. Then please you can take a peek to our polar bears. We have 3 polar bears here at the zoo. We have 2 females and 1 male. One of the females and the male are sister and brother. All of them are orphan animals. They have been living here their whole life. This exhibit also resembles their home back in the Arctic. These animals are what we know as feeders because they depend on the seawater to freeze to look for mates and to look for food. Can you see them? I'm going to continue to see if we can take a look at them in the backyard. And you might ask yourself how we do take care of them in this weather, in this climate here, so hot. In the wild, polar bears, they eat mainly seals, which have a very high fat content. They create a fat layer under their coat to keep themselves warm. Here, they don't need that amount of fat. So our nutritionists have developed a very specialized menu where when we take care of the amount of fat in the body, we have leaner polar bears here, and that way they can adapt to Chinese environment. One way we can be a hero for polar bears is by looking at the way you consume fossil fuel and you put greenhouse gases out of the atmosphere. That's for your carbon footprint. If you turn off the light or hang your clothes to dry, you're helping to lower the effect of climate change in our planet. If you look to the left, you're going to see the safari. As I told you before, you can take the safari on both sides. To the right is the 4D theater. We have 2 4D theaters here at the zoo. This one is playing a short movie of The Martian and Happy Feet. And back in the children's zoo, you can go see a movie of Leo. And we're going to enter soon the Elephant Odyssey where our lions are. We have some birds there called the blue turaco that all that laid eggs, and those eggs are hatching. Our keepers have asked us to remain silent when we go next to their exhibit because the cheeks of the turacos are really sensitive to the sound of our gunshots. So I'm going to remain silent when we go next to the lions, but I will make a quick stop so you can take a look at them, okay? I'm still with you? Awesome.
Okay.
If you look to your right, when we pass these dogs in front of us, this exhibit is of our main wolf. The main wolf has a board wolf on its name, but actually it's not a wolf. It's a unique canis from Brazil. They live on the grasslands of Brazil. And they are really shy. But I want to ask you to take a very deep breath when we go next to their exhibit. Because that's the way they communicate. They usually don't make any noises, but they need smell tracks to pull out their mates and to make territory. This is Kangaroo Buffer number 3. And to the right is Elephant Odyssey. Down Elephant Odyssey is Basset, and from this area here, that's the best way to get back to the entrance using the Kaiser or taking Basset Bridge. It's only a 7-minute walk. Now we're getting closer to the Blue Turaco, so I'm going to remain silent for a while, but I'm going to make a quick stop here so you can take a look at our elephant. Jaguar. Inside the cage, take a look at him. I'll tell you a little bit more about him when we exit this area. Well, the two African lions that we have here at the zoo, they came from a zoo in South Africa. And in 2009, they were brought here for the opening of Elephant Odyssey. The jaguar that we have here, jaguars is very interesting. They are from Central and South America, and they are the biggest, the only big cat in the Americas actually. Now this is our elephant yard, and the elephant yard, in the elephant yard we have 4 female elephants. We have 4 female elephants, 2 Asian and 2 African. If you look to the elephant on the right-hand side, that's an Asian elephant. And if you look to the left-hand side, that's one of our African elephants. This one, the one that has the neat ear, which is temple. And that's an African elephant. Look at the size of the ears, that's how you tell them apart. And African elephants have larger ears than the Asian elephants. And as a fun fact, the shape of the ear of the African elephant is similar to the shape of the African continent. Our elephant yard is about 2.5 acres big, and we can subdivide it in 4 different yards depending on the needs of the elephants and of the keepers. On the right is our elephant care center, where our elephant keepers take care of the elephant. We practice here what we call protected care, which is a state-of-the-art open space care center, so you can see when our keepers are taking care of our elephants. And when I mention protected care, I'm talking about these barriers. There's always a barrier between the elephant and the keeper. And it has proven to be so safe that the Association for Aquariums and Zoos have made it a standard among their members. Our elephants are trained every day to come to this area to receive their health checkup, so they cooperate in their health care. Now this here is Stella on the right. She is our secretary bird. For me, she is one of the most beautiful birds here at the zoo. And if you look to those legs, she's sitting down, but if you can take a look at those long legs, she uses them to hunt. Even though she flies, she hunts on the ground for small reptiles, small mammals, and insects. Now going back to the elephant yard, as part of the positive behavioral training that we provide our elephants, we teach them how to use these structures in the center of their activity. In the wild, these animals, they like to knock down trees, and the reason why you don't see any trees in this area is because they will knock them down, and they are looking for food on those trees. So we have built these utility trees to provide our elephants with food. One thing that they do everything that a tree will do. On the little gates on the bottom of the utility tree, the animals can get the hay or food that they want. If you see that little round thing next to the gate, that's a spout of water. They can get water. The upper section of the utility tree provides them with shade. And if it's too cold outside, it also provides them with heat. They can scratch themselves on it, they can lean themselves, but they cannot knock them down. And as you can see, Tembo, she's playing with the ball. That's what we call enrichment. The enrichment that we provide, and it's giving them opportunities and choices to explore their space and keep them mentally active and challenge them mentally, also physically and socially. We have many birds and sometimes other animals that come into the exhibit and they can interact with each other. And let's take a look at this exhibit next to the elephant. Can anyone tell me which animal is this one? Can anyone tell me? That's a camel. That's a dromedary camel. Camels that have just one hump are known as dromedary camels. They come from the Middle East and Africa. If they have two humps, they are from Asia. What do they carry on their humps? Anyone know? Water. Some people say it's water, but actually it's fat. They need to carry that fat on their backs because they can go very long periods of time without eating or drinking water. So they need all that fat to get the energy they need on their search for food or water. And it's also, they carry it on their back because they need to have very little fat around their body because where they live is so hot. So they just carry it on their back so they can keep themselves fresh. Now, this is one of my favorite success stories here at the zoo. These animals are the California condor. They are one of the most important animals here in the American folklore. In the 1980s, these animals almost went extinct. There were only 22 individuals in the wild. So the scientists at the safari park decided that we need them to round them up. We took all 22 condors back to the safari park where we built a safe space for them. Their natural habitat was being poisoned by lead and their eggs were not hatching because the shell on the eggs was too soft. It wasn't hardening enough. So we brought them into a safe space and we started observing them while they laid eggs. And we observed that if we took one egg from the nest, the female condor will lay another egg that will double the opportunity of increasing their population. So we needed to do something with that egg, right? And we didn't want the chicks to get attached to people because we want to release them into the wild. So we developed this puppet that looks like a female condor and started feeding the chicks with that female condor puppet. So we were so successful that 30 years later we have over 400 condors, and half of them have been released into the wild. So, this is a very good example of how we have been leading the way against animal extinction. And you should feel proud too, because you are part of it. Just like being in this boat, you are helping us leading the way, so you're being a hero for wildlife. If you're lucky enough to see a condor flying above you, remember that because you visited the San Diego Zoo, it is possible for them to be released into the wild. Now, if you look at the map marker, the red number 10 in front of us on the right, that you can also, it's a great way to find yourself around the park with your map. Those are map locators, so you can look at the map and look for that number, and then you can know where in the map you're located at. To the right is our meerkat exhibit. These animals are from the Kalahari Desert, and they are on the very bottom of the food pyramid. They are prey to many predators, so they are always on the lookout for danger or any threat. They are a very tight group of individuals, and there's always someone looking out for those dangers and threats to let them know if they need to run away or hide. Now we're coming into Africa Rocks. This is our newest exhibit. It took about 3 years to build. We showcase 6 different regions of Africa in this exhibit. And this is the first region. This is the Kopi. The Kopi is a rocky outcrop in the African savanna where small mammals look for shelter or nesting area. If you imagine an underground mountain, the Kopi will be the top part of that mountain sticking out of the ground. Now this next region is the Ethiopian highlands. The Ethiopian highlands are located at the upper part of Africa Rock. Africa Rock goes all the way down the canyon, and you can visit, we have waterfalls, pools. Here we have African and Madagascar animals, but something that goes unnoticed here in this area is this beautiful succulent garden that we have here. Water is a very scarce resource, and we here in the news how many countries go longer periods of time with very severe droughts. One way we have been doing our part, and this is something you can do at home too, is by gardening and growing drought-resistant plants. These plants don't need that much water to grow. They also provide a safe space for local wildlife to thrive, and you save money, you save water, so it's a win-win situation. Now, we're going to come back to Africa Rock later on, but if you look to your right, you're going to see our female koala exhibit. Female koalas are really social, so they have a mixed exhibit here with the wallabies, and they are all together. Later on, we're going to see the male koalas, and I'll tell you a little bit more about them. I'm going to lower my voice now and hear a show going on. Okay, so koalas are marsupials. Do you know what a marsupial is? Do you know what a marsupial is? Marsupials are animals that carry their babies on a couch, just like kangaroos. And koalas carry their babies on the couch. When the koala is born, they are the size of the first section of your pinky, and they need to crawl all the way up to their mommy's pouch and stay there for a couple of months until they are ready to come out, just looking like a full koala with hair and everything. Now this is our sunbear exhibit. Sunbears are really shy. They tend to spend their time inside their cage. They are the smallest of bears, and these animals, they are tree climbers. In the native language of where they come from, their name is those that like to sit high, because they build their nests in the trees. This next exhibit is our snow leopard exhibit. These animals are known as ghost cats. They are really good camouflaging themselves They live in the Himalayas. Their coat helps them blend into the snowy and rocky environment. Now, if you look behind the platform, you're going to see our African flawless otters. They love to sunbathe. Usually when they come out of the water, they roll around in dirt because they have very oily skin, and they need to spread those oils, their fur to keep themselves waterproof. If you look to your right, you're going to see our grizzly bears. We have two grizzly bears here. They are brothers, Scout and Montana, and they come from the Yellowstone National Park. We had to rescue them because their mom was teaching them a very bad habit. They like to raise garbage cans, and which is really dangerous for bears and for humans. These animals were lucky enough that we were able to rescue them, but not all bears have the same fate. So we always tell our visitors, if you ever go to bear country, don't feed wildlife, secure your garbage cans, because, these animals are not as lucky as South and Montana. Now these are Andean bears. They are also known as spectacle bears and are the only, oh my god, I love them. They are so cute. They are the only bears in South America. And as you can see, they love to climb trees. They are also tree climbers. And as part of our Wildlife Conservancy, our researchers have discovered that these animals are mainly vegetarian. Some people thought that they were raiding their livestock, and we realized that they are mainly vegetarian if they eat meat in small mammals. And that is really good because now the community has learned to understand the habits of these animals and have learned how to live in the same space together. If you look to your left, you're going to see Fern Canyon Trail. Fern Canyon is our oldest rainforest garden. It has been here 80 years. And rainforests are really important in our planet. They are the filters of the air we breathe. And I want you to feel the change in temperature here from when we were up in the elephant. They control our climate. They help control the temperature of our climate. And they are home for 50% of biodiversity. That means that 1 in 10 plants and animals live in the rainforest, which is really important for us as well. We play a very important part in this puzzle that we call life, right? And we are the shapers of the future of our planet. And one way we can help shape that future is with our choices, with our decisions. And our pocket is very powerful. How we decide to consume, what we decide to buy, if we support companies that have climate-friendly policies, or that produce sustainably sourced products. That way we are ensuring the animals and plants that live in these habitats, in these ecosystems, to have a home, to have a secure home. Now we're going into Africa Rock. This is the main entrance of Africa Rock. And if we imagine that we're coming into Africa, we're going into the southern tip of Africa. Here's where we have our African penguin colony. And when you think of Africa, you don't think of penguins. But penguins, mainly, they only live in the southern hemisphere. That's why you don't see any penguins in the Arctic where the polar bears live. Those holes on the wall, those are the nests of our penguin colony. In the last couple of decades, the penguin population, the African penguin population has decreased about 60%. And as part of our Wildlife Conservancy, we have been innovating and building artificial nests for these animals, where we can keep secure their eggs and make sure that those little penguins hatch. Also, we send a part of our staff on rescue and release missions to Africa to help these penguins. If you look at the very end on the right, you're going to see Rady Falls. Those waterfalls are the largest artificial waterfalls here in San Diego. They drop down 65 feet. And that area will be the tropical rainforest of Africa in Africa Rock. Now next to us on the left is our lemur exhibit. Lemurs are from Madagascar. I don't know if anyone here saw Ice Age, the movie. Well, King Julian was a lemur, okay? And these big structures were built for them because they love to climb and they need to practice that skill, right? So we wanted to provide them with as much climbing opportunities as possible. That's why here in the Acacia Woodland, we have brought all these trees here. The trees that you see, they were brought from other exhibits to provide these animals, like the vervet monkey in the tree, to provide all these animals with climbing opportunities. These animals are really curious, and when they practice their curiosity, they're making sure that they are safe, because these animals also are on the very bottom of the food pyramid. They are prey to many predators, including humans. And one way they keep safe is climbing into those trees. One problem they are having now is that they are losing their homes because we are taking away the trees where they live. Now if you look to your right, this is our main koala colony. Oh, there's one in the right-hand side tree. You can see one of our main koalas. You may ask yourself, why are they separate? Because they are really territorial, different from the female koalas. They are really territorial, and each of them lives on their own tree. These plants in the coast, those are eucalyptus plants. And it's interesting because these animals, even though they only eat eucalyptus, and that's good, they don't have any competition for that food, but eucalyptus is really toxic and poisonous. So they need to sleep a long time to be able to digest those plants. So a koala can sleep up to 20 to 22 hours a day. Now we are a not-for-profit organization, and that means that everything that you spend here, every cent that you spend here, goes back to the animals and plants that you have seen, and also to our wildlife conservancy. And we need to appreciate that thanks to our visitors and also to our donors, because this wouldn't be possible. Even the fight against extinction wouldn't be possible without you. So you are the ones leading us towards our mission. On the right is Urban Jungle, where you can find bus stop number 1, and also you can visit the giraffes, cheetahs, rhinos, also the koalas actually. And to the left is the Australian outback. The Australian outback is where we have most of our Australian animals, like the Tasmanian devils and other birds. That path that goes across the Australian outback, that's Front Street. And if you take the Front Street all the way to the front of the exit, you're going to find our Wildlife Conservancy booth, where you can learn more about all the projects that we have worldwide. We have over 100, thanks to our Wildlife Conservancy. We have bring back to the wild. We have released over 40 different endangered species. So if you want to learn more, then you prefer to go online, you can visit nextinction.org. Now we're getting closer to the end of the tour. I hope you have enjoyed as much as I did. It's been a pleasure having you with me today. And as soon as we get closer to the unloading belt and I stop the bus, I'm going to have the horse downstairs to get off the bus, and then I will go upstairs and give you a hand. So please be patient and wait for me. Share the knowledge you have learned today. We are all in this together, and I always say that knowledge is power. And we have the power to make this world one where we want to live in it, and where we support the rest of the living beings that live in it. So thank you so much for joining us. Have lots of adventure at the zoo. Again, my name is Anna, and have a wonderful day. Thank Thank you, guys.
Chamber is safe space. Okay, you're all good? The schedule number 545, you can cover at 5:30. 5:30.
What?